Husky fans, welcome into episode number 5 of NIU Weekly. I'm Andy Garcia. Glad you could join us. This week, we're going to talk a little football. Thomas Hammock coming up a tough one at Ball State. Get ready for homecoming, taking on the Rockets at Toledo. Coming up on Saturday to Husky Stadium. Such huge events coming up. We'll talk about all that. Thomas Hammock will join us too. Also, we talked to Lisa Carlson, women's hoops, last week. This week, Rashon Burno, men's hoops, is going to join us, talk about how the practice has started for them, talk a little bit about the roster, getting ready for the season that starts coming up in November, not too far away. So we've got Thomas Hammock and Rashon Burno for you this week, and we're really getting ready for all the happenings coming up on this week with the 115th homecoming here at NIU. In case you didn't know, NIU's homecoming celebration, one of the oldest in the nation and the oldest in the state of Illinois. Events have been going on all week across the university, but the action really kicks off on Thursday night. Thursday night from 5 to 8 p.m. Down home and downtown DEKALB block party. The homecoming weekend festivities kick off Thursday night at the down home and downtown DEKALB block party. This new event features something for everyone, including activities for the kids, the March of the Huskies, a classic car show, pep rally, and discounts at all local businesses. This event will be on Locust and 2nd Streets in DEKALB and throughout downtown. A great way to get the community involved with the homecoming. Again, that is down home in downtown DEKALB block party, Thursday night, 5 to 8 p.m. Then on Friday night, October 7th, 5 p.m. reception, 6 p.m. program. It's the 35th Hall of Fame induction ceremony, open to the public, Duke Ellington Ballroom in the Holmes Student Center. Looking forward to it. 13 new members will be inducted. The 2022 class includes 7 student athletes: Amy Folk, volleyball; Thomas Hammock, football; Chandler Harnish, football; Kristen Hoffman, volleyball; Sandra Lutz, field hockey, softball, and volleyball; Scott Simon, baseball; Chad Spann, football; coach and administrator Robert Collins. 4 families who have been an instrumental part to the growth of Husky athletics: the Barsima family, the Chesick family, the Rich family, and the Yorn family. And 1 special contributor, Rick Sarom. It's going to be special on Friday night again. Reception at 5 p.m. Program starts at 6 p.m., the 35th Hall of Fame induction. Hopefully you can attend, be at the Duke Ellington Ballroom in the Holmes Student Center on Friday night. Some matches coming up, some games on Friday night, October 7th, 6 p.m. NIU volleyball taking on Bowling Green. It's a blackout game or blackout match. Wear black on Friday night to volleyball. On Saturday, October 8th, we talk about football. We'll talk more about that. NIU taking on Toledo. The yard opens at 11:30 a.m. We're on the air on the radio 2 p.m. And on Saturday as well, volleyball after the football game, taking on the Redhawks of Miami. Free admission with your football ticket. So that's Friday and Saturday. Then on Sunday, October 9th at 10 a.m., the Title IX 50th anniversary brunch. The tremendous group of current and former student athletes will come together in the Convocation Center on Sunday morning to celebrate Title IX, the federal legislation that changed everything for women in terms of opportunity to compete on an even playing field in the NCAA and high school sports. The brunch is going to include a panel discussion on Title IX featuring former NIU athletic director Carrie Groth, former softball coach Donna Martin, and new Hall of Famer Kristen Hoffman, as well as current head coaches and student athletes. They're going to be there as well. In addition, the 50 Husky greats of the Title IX era announced earlier this year will be honored as well. So again, you've got that great brunch, Title IX anniversary brunch that's coming up on Sunday morning, 10 a.m. at the Convocation Center. Then on Sunday, we've got NIU women's soccer taking on Akron. That is at 1 p.m. free admission. And then again at 3:30 p.m., NIU men's soccer taking on Western Michigan. Again, free admission to both women's and men's soccer on Sunday. Women at 1 and the men at 3:30. Back to the NIU volleyball team. They're on a roll. They've won 7 of the last 8 matches. They're playing well right now, so get out to Victory Court. Hopefully you can get out there. And again, we talked about NIU women's soccer doing well, off to a 2-2 start in the MAC. Again, get out there, celebrate the homecoming events. Certainly hope to see everyone at different events this week, especially Husky Stadium on Saturday. Well, homecoming, always big party, big things happen, and football is a big part of it. Hall of Fame induction on Friday night, and then the football game, NIU taking on Toledo. 2:30 kickoff on Saturday, Husky Stadium. We're joined by Huskies head coach Thomas Hammock. And Thomas, I do want to talk to you about the Hall of Fame as well coming up. Maybe I can help you with that speech a little bit. I know you're still working on it, tweaking it. Any mentions of Andy Garcia in that speech are muchly appreciated. But seriously, let's get back to Ball State. Tough one to swallow. You guys had it there. Again, comes down to a couple plays. But as we've talked about before, you've got to play 4 quarters in the MAC and just came up a little bit short.
No, certainly. I think hopefully our players understand that you can never score enough points. You can never separate enough, and we got to finish. We have to finish, and we have to stay locked in each play, one snap at a time. And I think hopefully we can learn from that. If we ever get in that situation again the rest of the season, we have to be able to stomp a team out, and we just didn't get that done on Saturday.
So many positives, Coach, especially on the offensive side in the run game. 330 yards. Harrison Whaley with 230 for himself. Again, you've talked about like on the breakout, that running game starting to go, and we saw it against Ball State on display. You guys were able to run the football.
No, to be the type of team we want to be, it starts with the run game. That allows you to control the clock. That allows you to stay in manageable situations on third down. Loved our ability on 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 to pick up first downs. That remind me of what it felt like last year. Where you was hoping for a 3rd and 1 situation because I think our line was changing the line of scrimmage. Obviously, Harry was running very, very downhill and aggressively, and I think that would pay dividends as we continue to move forward this season.
And also the depth. We've talked about the depth on the offense and the defense, but especially on the offense and the quarterback. Justin Lynch also getting in. I thought Ethan Hampton played well, but also Justin Lynch getting in and seeing that package he's had. And I know that can blossom from there. We just saw a little bit of what Lynch can do.
Yeah, no, I think I talked to the coaching staff last week about allowing him to help get our run game going by any means necessary, and I think obviously he showed that he can be a major part of our offense as we continue to move forward, regardless of who the quarterback is. And I think that makes you feel good. I think that gives us another element because I do believe we have been throwing the ball better this year. Now if you can add a run game with that, now you have a chance to be a complete offense, and that's what we need to be.
What did you like from the running from Harrison Whaley? What did you like about just going north-south, picking a hole and going through it? What did you like?
He's drastically improved. I know it may be hard to see to outsiders, but to me, his cutting ability, his patience, he made a couple people miss that he wasn't able to do in the past. He got some one-on-one opportunities and won those matchups. And I think as he continues to evolve as a running back, it gives me a great confidence to say his best football is still in front of him. Because he continues to get better, even though he's been playing, it seems like forever. He's only a sophomore. He's got 2 years left, and he's a tough competitor. But he is getting better, as he gets older. And he didn't play running back full time in high school. He played wide receiver, so maybe he's finally starting to learn the nuances of the position, and I think it's exciting to see.
How would you assess your defense now going into Toledo's game?
Well, obviously, we have some things we need to work on. In some aspects, we're better on defense this year than last year, and then other aspects we're not. Our ability, we've been pretty solid against the run, but now we're lacking in pass coverage, and that's just not just on the secondary. That's on the linebackers as well. From the standpoint of, you have to get to your drops on the field because that's important. That makes the quarterback hold the ball maybe a second longer and the pass rush could get there. Or that makes the quarterback elevate a throw where it could be an interception. I think C.J. Brown's interception last week was a perfect example of the linebacker got to his proper drop. The quarterback had to elevate the ball, and C.J. had a chance to make an interception. And then obviously we played some young corners last week that made some young mistakes, some penalties on third down that changed the game. And if we can eliminate those penalties, then we can have a chance to play better on defense.
Yeah, that's one thing we've seen from this defense so far. Getting turnovers, Thomas. It's been key so far early this season. Special teams is always going to come up. It came up in overtime. It came up in the regular part of the game as well in the first 4 quarters. And you've talked about it. Your special teams, you got to equal at least what the opponent's doing. You've talked about it.
Yeah, no, I think obviously the two missed field goals were big. And those are learning experience for young people. One of my favorite Bible quotes is, "The humble will be exalted, and the exalted will be humbled." And so, you win, lose, or draw, you have to have the same approach all the time, and that's something that I take to heart. And so, no matter the circumstances, you got to be the same person. Be consistent through the ups and the downs, and I think that's important for our team to understand.
Still an opportunity to win this MAC West. Move on to Detroit. It starts with Toledo on Saturday. They're 1-0 as they got the win over Central Michigan. Talk to me about this Rockets team this year.
No, good football team in all three phases. Obviously Toledo is a program that's been in the upper echelon of the MAC for a long time, and this team is no different. They have a good defensive line. They rotate a lot of people. Good at linebacker, good in the secondary, and then offensively, their quarterback is special, and he's a guy that we have to make sure we account for every single play of the game, because he can change the game in one snap. And so we got a tremendous challenge. I think our guys are excited about the opportunity. Obviously, we know what Toledo is to this program and what it means, this game means, and we got to go out there and play at a high level to give ourselves an opportunity to win. You
mentioned the quarterback, number 7, Naquan Finn. Not only does he read the Rockets in rushing, but he's really good on those plays that, maybe that's not the way they wanted the play to intend. Maybe a play that's not supposed to happen that way. He's able to scramble. He's able to make things happen with his feet as well.
Yeah, his most rushing yards come from pass plays where a guy gets out of a lane, and if you allow him to step up, it's going to be a problem. And so we got to make sure we have a great cage rush this week, keep him in the pocket, and try to make sure you minimize the damage that he can do with his legs, because he is going to make plays. He's a dynamic player, a greatly improved player from last season, and we got a tremendous challenge.
Defensively for Toledo, giving up about 24 points per game, 156 on the ground. Number 1, Desjuan Johnson. You talked about it earlier in the week, how he can be a game changer. Why?
You watch every game, and he is personally disrupting the offensive line. I mean, you could watch him against Ohio State, and he knocked the guy 3 or 4 yards back in the backfield. He's very strong. He's very physical. Plays with a high motor, and a guy that I told our defensive line coaches, make sure our players are watching how he plays, because when you get a challenge like this, you want to be the best. Be the best D line. If our D line is the best on Saturday, then we'll have a chance to win the game. And those are the type of challenges you look for, you should embrace.
I always love that Toledo's coming back and playing on a Saturday, homecoming. We've not seen that for a long time, Thomas, so hopefully the crowd is riled up. And having people come back from homecoming, I know you're in the moment, you're in the game, but it's great to have all those people with me on the sidelines, coming back, supporting the program. And what a Saturday to do that, homecoming and having Toledo here.
Yeah, I mean, I hope we can get a win because I certainly will enjoy some of the festivities after the game. But homecoming is obviously a big deal. It's an important game, and obviously against Toledo, ups to ante. And people have been asking me for tickets and sideline passes. I think we're stretched to the limit, but certainly a lot of excitement. We got a good football team. I hope we can play 4 quarters of football on Saturday and give ourselves a chance to win.
Let's talk about the Hall of Fame induction. It's such a busy week for you, trying to get a team, get a win. But being inducted to the NIU Husky Athletic Hall of Fame and being one of 13 to do that on Friday night, I've heard that you're still working on the speech. And again, how do you prepare for a football game, but also know what's coming up and being inducted into a great Hall of Fame?
I'm certainly more nervous about the Hall of Fame induction than the game. The football game is, I'm in my element. Obviously, speaking at a Hall of Fame banquet, obviously I'm honored to be inducted, but what do you talk about, right? I got to think back on 20 years ago. I was a much different person, but I got to think back to those moments. But I hopefully you know, some thoughts that come back, but certainly want to honor my parents. I think that's important, and then obviously honor my coaches, my teammates, all those great memories that you have. I got to take a minute and reflect and put some things down on paper. But I'm certainly nervous about having to get up there and speak.
You do great. What's it mean to put all your heart and soul into a program like this where you played? You wanted to be the head coach. You now are the head coach, and now you're inducted as a player. What's it mean to have all that come through you in your life and then have a chance to coach here and be in the Hall of Fame?
Obviously it's special. It's emotional. You know, you're driving back from Ball State. You feel bad for the players. You feel bad for everybody that's been working so hard. But you also feel bad for alumni and guys that support the program through thick and thin. The fans that change or have a different opinion of you. They were never behind you from the start. Is the way I look at it. But the people that's truly passionate about NIU Huskies and about this football program, you hurt for them. And then a small piece of you hurt for yourself, right? Because you work hard, you played here, you have a passion and feel like we're doing things the right way. And for whatever reason, it didn't work out. And so it's interesting. I'm reading Proverbs for the month of October, and obviously the third day was Proverbs 3, was it talked about trust in the Lord with all your heart, and don't lean on your understanding. And I think that's important during these times of adversity, to make sure that you're strong for your team, you're strong for the program, because we do got a good football team. We just got to find a way to finish.
Yeah, another opportunity coming up on Saturday. Everything's in front of you. NIU taking on Toledo. Good luck. Have fun, everything on Friday night, and good luck. And I'll see you on the sidelines.
Appreciate it. Go Huskies.
Men's basketball has been practicing for over about a week now, as we're joined by head coach Rashon Burno. And coach, before we get into practice and get everything started, I want to talk a little bit about you. You got through your first year. You as an assistant coach, you want to be a part of your own program. You want to be that head coach. And talk about your first year, what you learned, and what you're taking into your second year.
How difficult being a head coach truly is. A lot more moving parts, a lot of things that take you away from just the basketball side of it. So that was the biggest adjustment. Going into this year, I think I'll be better equipped to manage time, be more precise, be more intentional with my time, and mainly allocate it more to the players. Trying to get these guys in the right frame of mind to go out every day and be really good student athletes. And then obviously the main goal is to win games. Second main goal is to win games.
The success you had last year, going on, starting the year out, getting the Pac-12 win over Washington, the success you had building that first year, it seemed like the confidence was growing throughout that first season with you and your squad.
Yeah, those guys did a tremendous job of staying with it. I thought early on we had some tremendous challenges that helped us towards the end. We had a COVID pause, some things that you can't really prepare for, but it really gave these guys an opportunity to fight through some adversity. I thought towards the tail end of the season, we were playing some really good basketball. Unfortunately, the time ran out on us, but to finish tied for eighth, winning against three of the top four teams in league play, two of them on the road against the conference finals teams of Kent State and Akron. I thought that was a good start to a foundation, but obviously we got to win some more games this year. We had a good summer, so I'm excited to see what's to come.
And just like what I talked about with Lisa last week with women's hoops, yes, practice started officially last week, but you guys were together in the summer. We're going to talk about the trip to Canada. So you guys were able to work on things throughout the summer. So it's not like you come in and, okay, let's get everything out now and start. You've had that base throughout the summer.
Yeah, and which was awesome. The time to get with your guys. The first thing you want to do is assess skill level. So we was really intentional with what we were doing, how we were teaching, what we were implementing, so we can be ready for the start of the season and not feel like you have to be in a rush to get everything in. And so we really laid the foundation. I like our guys. I like where we are from a physical standpoint. I think we're right where we need to be. not peaking too early, rounded into really, really great shape. The guys are performing at a high level. Skill level is where we hoped it to be. We still got room to grow, still got room to build as a team. But the summer, we really try to maximize it and use it to our advantage.
Talk about that roster and the returners you have, but also bringing in some new guys as well.
Yeah, we wanted to go out and going one time through the MAC as a head coach. You saw that you needed size, strength, and athleticism. This league is very, very challenging from top to bottom. But to beat the Toledos and the Akrons, you got to get guys that can put the ball in the hole. You got to have some physicality and you got to be skilled. And so we went out and set out to go get guys that fit the parts that we had returning. Anthony Crump had a tremendous summer. Darishi Hunter, most fans won't recognize him. He really did a really good job of taking care of his body, getting in the best shape of his life. And he's really shooting the heck out of the ball. KT Thornton got bigger, faster, stronger. And with him, it's going to be, a really good, process for him to go out and really compete for 40 minutes, especially with some of the new guys we got coming in. So the returning guys, I'm super excited. Keyshawn Williams had a tremendous first campaign with us, but I really challenged him to do more over the summer with his body, with his mental makeup. And I expect him to have a really good, redshirt sophomore campaign with us.
I want to expand on Keyshawn a little bit because all MAC, honorable mention last year, averaged 16 points per game. Where can you see his game grow because he had a lot of success last year?
I was first. I was really surprised he didn't make all a team. Yeah. But with that being said, I think for him, Keyshawn, just his leadership is where we need him to grow more. He's coming back on a team that has a ton of new faces, very talented but new, and so I'm leaning on him to be a leader on and off the court, along with some of the returning guys. But his game is going to expand. He's going to be around guys that could facilitate, hit shots to open up the floor, and then we're going to have guys we can throw the ball into and throw the ball up to finish around a basket. Last year, he faced a lot of the defensive strategies from opposing teams and still able to perform. But this year, he's going to be moved around a little bit more and playing a little bit more in space to take advantage of his skill set.
And you mentioned Caleb Thornton, too, who I thought kind of was just a sponge, Rashon, for your first year, trying to learn what you wanted to do, finished 7th in the MAC in assists. He's got that quick first step. And again, I felt like his confidence was growing as the season moved on last year.
I would agree. And like most, as a point guard, most times, it's like being a quarterback in a system for the first time, right? It takes time to know the nuances, to know how to manage the game. And I think a year under his belt of playing 30 minutes a game, the year prior, he played sparingly. He wasn't a guy that played double-digit minutes. So now he has a year. He's matured. He's seen every defensive coverage that's out there. He knows the system. He knows the expectations. So I expect him to thrive in his senior campaign for us.
You've added the roster some international flair: Japan, Switzerland, Lithuania. Why having those players? What did it mean to have those guys coming to this program, and what can those players bring?
Well, I think for us, we needed to go out and get guys that can come in and play right away, right? And I think Yannick, who's a 6'11" kid from Switzerland by the way of Germany, is very skilled. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people with just his talent and the things that he can do on the floor. AP, hands down, one of the best shooters I've been around. He reminds me of a guy, a former Gator, Lee Humphreys, who won 2 national championships with Billy Donovan. He can really shoot the ball. He has some pro experiences playing with older men on his national team and playing over in Europe. Those guys are expected to come in and play meaningful minutes and have a huge impact. Taku Youngblood is a guy that has some American experiences. He played up in a prep school in New England. Very well coached, Jerry Quinn. I'm super excited about him. He's 6'3" with a 6'11" wingspan. And he can really get after defensively. He's a fierce competitor. So those guys added depth, but also talent to the roster. So which is going to make practices, really, really competitive.
I was excited to see the Chicago product in Whitney Young, Xavier Amos, and what does he bring to this program?
Tremendous versatility. He's a guy that, if you came and watched practice and you watch his demeanor, he's very unassuming, but boy, he's a talent. He's 6'8", 215. He can shoot. He can put the ball on the floor, but he's still a freshman. But he's a guy that, we're so lucky to have in our program. He's going to have a bright future. He's going to have a huge impact his freshman campaign. He gives us an ability to play, small at 6'8", 4-man, but he also can stretch the floor and do some different things. He can post you. He's a really good rebounder in traffic, and he can get the balls to bounce and push it and put pressure on the defense in transition. So I'm excited about his future. He had an unbelievable Canada trip. He had games of 18, 19. So I think the sky's the limit, but we also got to manage that he is a freshman, and it's going to be some good, some bad, some ugly during the season.
You mentioned the Canada trip earlier last summer. You guys went 3-0, taking the tour around Canada. Talk about how that trip came up, Coach, and the success you guys had. You averaged, 106 points per game, and it seems like that confidence kind of grew, not just growing as a team, being part of togetherness, being together in Canada, but playing some games, getting some games under your belt with this team.
Yeah, I got to thank Sean Frazier and the administration. Going into my second year, having a roster changeover, this was needed for all the things you just mentioned in regards to bonding off the floor, spending time together, but also the other adage was having 10 practices.
Yeah.
Right, you're able to have 10 practices leading up to Canada. You're able to mesh these guys for a longer period of time versus the 4 hours you get over the summer. So it was a tremendous experience, and then you go out to compete against people that don't wear the same jersey over the summer, right? So we got some live action. We got a lot of film, a lot of data on which we came back and broke down and made assessments for the fall workouts. So it was a really successful trip, minus the wins. Obviously, you want to win every game you play, but just to get these guys in a hotel and get these guys traveling, breaking bread, spending time together was more valuable than actually the games. And so the games were phenomenal. We shot 22 for 26 from three of one of our first games. Last year, that was an Achilles heel for us. We wasn't a great three-point shooting team. This team has depth in that area, and we have really good guards that can break you down, collide, make the defense collide and kick it out. And we were able to make shots. So I'm excited about that part of the game. But the other thing is we defended really well up there. We really made it hard on those guys to score on first or second side. So I'm excited. And then we also didn't have three of our rotational guys due to, travel restrictions. But, we finally got everybody back. So we're excited to get going.
Yeah, good stuff there. Again, we're about a month from an exhibition, maybe 5 weeks from the opening of the season. The next couple of weeks for your team. What do you want to see from your team? What's that involve? Maybe the next 2 to 3 weeks as you get ready for the season.
Just continued growth. You want to get better. You want to play to our standards. Every day can't be the same in regards to improving. And so our goal is just to win the battle of that day. But we're measuring ourselves against our own standards. And so I think from the standpoint of the next 2 weeks, we're implementing more of our system, offense, defense. Guys are developing roles. And we're just going to try to perfect what we're trying to get done for the course of the season. Obviously, November 7th, we'll get a chance to compete live for real. But those exhibition games are creeping up. But mainly just get better. Like we want to get better as a team, individually, so we can put the best product out there when the season starts.
I know we'll talk more, but it was great to get you on and looking forward to it. Hopefully continued success with practice, and we're getting closer to the season. I know you're getting ready.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's great to have basketball not too far away. Great to hear from Rashon Burno this week and Lisa Carlson last week. Get your basketball season tickets, all right, on sale at NIUHuskies.com. Season ticket pricing for men's basketball starts as little as $80 for all 12 regular season games at home. Get women's basketball season tickets for as little as $35 to see the team 13 times this year. Check out the season ticket combo packages with discounts available for football or volleyball season ticket members, as well as NIU faculty and staff, varsity club, alumni association, and senior citizens. Call 815-753-PACK today. That's 815-753-7225 for purchase anytime online at NIUHuskies.com/tickets. Looking forward to basketball season this season in the Convocation Center. Mark your calendars for some upcoming basketball events. The first Coffee with Carlson, which of course is actually a lunch event, is Tuesday, October 11th at Verandas in DEKALB. And on October 27th, see the men's and women's teams at Husky Madness a preseason event. That's all coming up. So get your calendars out, get that set up. Coffee with Carlson on October 11th at Verandas and October 27th, the men's and women's teams at Husky Madness. We hope to see you guys in the stands this weekend. Hopefully NIU football can get back on track, get a win, taking on Toledo. Some great events all week. Get out there, support the Huskies, and hopefully Husky programs can get some wins. Thank you for watching NIU Weekly this week. Until next week, go Huskies.